China has emerged in recent decades as one of the most dynamic economies and societies in the world. As China's economy and culture have grown, it has become ever more important to understand this great nation and to learn the language of 1.3 billion people. Chinese is the fastest growing foreign language among U.S. students, and one of the fastest growing destinations for U.S. students to study abroad. The Confucius Institute at Texas A&M University strives to better prepare students and citizens of the state of Texas for a global future by providing programming and events that help students to better understand China's history, culture, and society, and providing greater opportunities to learn the Chinese language.
We have three primary goals of the Confucius Institute at Texas A&M University. The first is to promote Chinese language and culture through a variety of outreach mechanisms, including on-campus Chinese classes, off-campus Chinese classes, and then developing new ways to help people learn Chinese in a variety of contexts. We also offer cultural festivals, seminars, lectures, visiting scholars who help to talk about Chinese language and culture to our students and to our community members. The second goal is to help build a regional infrastructure for Chinese language teaching throughout Texas and the region. We're working to develop a teacher certification program. We work with Chinese Language Teachers Association, other institutions, secondary schools, middle schools across the region to help them develop Chinese language programming and cultural outreach. And then finally, our third goal is to serve as a bridge between Texas A&M University as a top-tier research university and faculty, colleagues, and other institutions in China. Our partnerships as an institution are very important to us in China, and the Confucius Institute helps to serve as a bridge between students, faculty, and staff at Texas A&M University to have stronger interaction with their Chinese colleagues.
Students are the core of the Confucius Institute's endeavor. The Institute works closely across the campus to help departments and colleges develop study abroad programs that allow students at Texas A&M to study in China in a field closely related to their major area of study, as well as specialized programs that create unique opportunities for our students. For example, in May 2009, 10 members of Texas A&M's Corps of Cadets leaders embarked on a tour that included visits to Taipei, Hong Kong, Qingdao, and Beijing. The trip allowed the cadets to gain a first-hand view of China and to better appreciate the challenges facing the two nations, and sowed seeds of friendship between future U.S. military leaders and future leaders of China. The Confucius Institute also created a program for 15 A&M students to spend a life-changing week at the rural village of Sikai in Sichuan, teaching and helping orphans in an area devastated by HIV infection and the May 12, 2008 earthquake. The Confucius Institute also created a program for 26 students from Texas A&M and other U.S. universities to participate in the 4th China-U.S. Relations Conference in Beijing, where they developed deep friendships with Chinese students in Beijing to learn from each other's culture, background, and language. The students had face-to-face meetings with Chinese Minister of Foreign Affairs Yang Jieqi and U.S. Ambassador to China John Huntsman, and allowed students from both sides to develop new friendships and gain better insights into the issues that both countries face together.
In the 30 years since our two countries established diplomatic relations, the ties between the United States and China have become broader, deeper, and closer than anyone could have imagined in 1979. As this conference convenes, I can honestly say that the United States has no more important bilateral relationship. Both of our countries face major challenges. Because of the relationships that have developed between our countries and our peoples, we are in a much better position to learn from each other how better to deal with domestic, economic, environmental, and other challenges we face.
Confucius Institute's deep commitment to promoting Chinese language and culture makes the Institute a flagship of community service at the greater Texas area. A large part of the task of the Confucius Institute is to create community-oriented cultural outreach to help our students and community members to better understand China's long history and culture. Through events such as an annual Chinese New Year celebration and events that help to highlight Chinese history and culture, the Confucius Institute at Texas A&M develops strong ties between the nations. The Confucius Institute also regularly sponsors and participates in the Brazos Valley World Fest, a premier event celebrating international cultural awareness. Thousands of community members visit the Confucius Institute exhibit, which highlights Chinese history, language, and culture, where through interactive games, technologies, and events, they gain a better understanding of China. In fact, the Confucius Institute exhibit is so popular, it won the top award for its display 2 years in a row.
早上呢，我们的中国学生啊，还有老师都5点起来，7点赶到这儿了。整个的这个 World Fest， 我们也是第一个到的，所以我们得第1名是应该的。谢谢。
The Confucius Institute also helps to bring Chinese culture to local schools and communities through traveling exhibitions and special activities. Local school children have been able to experience China's famous literary character, the Monkey King, and other famous aspects of Chinese culture, such as lion dancing, kung fu, and China's famed terracotta warriors through outreach activities at the Institute. But the Confucius Institute also provides to the Aggie community tremendous academic programming by focusing research on Chinese society and bringing world-renowned scholars to campus to highlight Chinese culture and society. These visiting scholars have helped to lead campus discussions on topics as diverse as the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, classic Chinese poetry, Chinese history, and China's religious and philosophical heritage.